Alright, friends. It's nice to see you all again. It's been a long time since we've done a draft analysis, but I'm excited. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the Phantom Force. This is Phantombass, coming at you with our IBL Season 5 draft analysis. Just a little bit of a background. We did take over a team last season and managed to make it to playoffs, so we're looking to make another playoffs run. And I gotta say, our team this season is quite something. I won't say it's either here or there, but I will say that I'm really proud of it. It's a weird team. I like my weird teams. You all know this. So, without much further ado, let's get right in. So, we were like 11th or 12th with the draft out of 16. It was ridiculous. We were really late, so like all the good stuff I knew wasn't going to drop to me. So, instead I had my eye on a particular Ultra Beast that you see on the screen in front of you. The captain of our squad has joined us back from the Dragon's Den tournament, or not the Devil's Den tournament, and that we managed to win this season, or this time around. Kartana, the captain, is here. Kirito has arrived and looking to make a name for himself, because this thing is a menace. That whopping base 181 physical attack and 109 speed make this thing a really valuable choice. Scarfer, like, let's put its actual IVs where we want them. Uninvested his 201. This is ridiculous. Okay. Obviously, this is a Wi-Fi leak, so everything's gonna be level 50. But yeah, this thing is a stupidly good mon. It has just the right coverage to be annoying. It gets aerial ace, it gets psycho cut, it gets night slash knockoff. It gets defog, it gets synthesis, smart strike, leaf blade, like sword, not to mention swords dance, tailwind. Like, this thing is crazy good. Hard to switch into, even harder to deal with once it gets to +1. You can run a timid set. Remember, with the right amount of IVs invested, you can actually get boosts in speed on this thing. So beware. I know how to run that set. It's a lot of fun. I love using Kartana. Winning the Dragon's Den tournament, but that really made me fall in love with it. So looking forward to using it again. Now, next up on the list, I decided that we're going to start building this draft around Kartana. We had a total of, I think it was 1,000 points. And so each mon was like, we had like one that was like the highest was 200 and the lowest was like, or the highest was like 180, I think. And the lowest was like, or like 200 and then the lowest was like 20. So we had some gaps in there. There's like a mix of GBA tiers and PPL points. So in that regard, the next mon we picked up was some mon that resists very well this thing's fire weakness. The only thing it kind of couples with, and it also gives Kartana some more value as far as like it can run some potential stall breaking support, as well as being a nice second part to our Fairy Dragon Steel Core, and that is Hydra. You guys know I love Hydra. I haven't used this thing in a long time either, so I'm really excited to use it again. It's one of my couple pivots that I have into Kartana. Basically, I'm going to try to draft a few mons that can U-turn or volt switch into Kartana for free switches and get it to start killing crap. Because really, Kartana is a great breaker. It's also a great win con, and having these mons that can support that role is really good. This thing is really, Dragon is really good. Base 98 speed outspeeds a good bit of your normal base 95s, and like what you see a lot of. It's a nice odd speed tier, outspeeding things like Haxorus, Tokamaru, Mimikyu, and also some great coverage, fire coverage. Like it's Fire Blast, Surf, Flash Cannon, freaking Earth Power, Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, Draco Meteor, Head Smash, the list goes on. Also gets U-turn, which is great. It's another great Scarfer. It gets another mon access to defog. But another fun thing about this is it gets taunt, and it's something I really enjoy using. A Stallbreaker Hydra is really good in this format because it shuts down a lot of passive threats on his team, on anyone's team really. As well as provides a nice pivot with the bulk it has, which is very respectable bulk with 92 HP and 90 in both defenses. This thing can take a hit or two, and it has reliable recovery and roost, which is really nice to have. So that's Hydra. Now next up, I wanted to grab a mon that could switch into both of their weaknesses, which is fighting, as well as give me another switch into ice, or a good switch into ice coverage as well, and a mon that could switch into another mon that switch into fire. So say hello to Toxapex, the Cantromon. I know you guys are all going to hate me for drafting this thing. I don't care. This thing is phenomenal. It's not very versatile, but what it does well. And with the access, with the new move it gets in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and Knockoff, this thing is much more annoying. Because switches are no longer safe. Like, you can't switch in safely to Toxapex unless you fear getting your item knocked off. This thing can also be running stuff like, it also obviously gets Scald, but the best things it gets are Regenerator, it gets Haze, it gets Recover, and Toxic Spikes, of course. Like, this thing is ridiculous, and that bulk is insane. With the base 50 HP is nothing great, but then this makes 152 and 142 defense and speed def. Thing it takes hits for days. Thing checks most things in the format. It's really good. Not much to say. It's an anti-setup. It's a nice wall and a good pivot. Speaking of versatility, the next mon I grabbed, I couldn't believe it was still down here round 4. So I had to grab it, especially because at the current moment I really didn't have a solid way to check normal spam, or say that loosely. Like, I had Kartana, but like normal spam is kind of good versus my team. I'll see that on the whole, but like also I wanted something that could be really versatile, could get me. I wanted a rocker first off, because I didn't have a stealth rock setter yet. I also wanted a mon that could be either setup or defensive with reliable recovery. Another switch into fighting types, and that was my Necrozma. I have not ever drafted this thing before, not since ITL Season 5. We just finished Season 7, mind you, so Necrozma is a great mon. Phenomenal setup, way better Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Now that it gets Photon Geyser, Earth Power, Heat Wave, like, this thing's tutor moves are ridiculous. And Photon Geyser is phenomenal as a move. Unless you bring any kind of setup you want, and it changes to that particular type. Like, if you bring a Sword Stance set, it's a physical Photon Geyser, essentially, because you're gonna bring more physical attack. If you bring a Calm Mind set, it's gonna be a special Photon Geyser, and it's base 100, so it's really good. Like, this thing just hits like a dang truck. Also, if an opponent somehow doesn't have a dark type, this thing is Sword Power and Moonlight / Morning Sun, which is always nice to bring, because yeah, kind of great for reliable recovery, and Sword Power just kind of hits like a truck after you get a couple Calm Minds up. And yeah, that's all I have to say about Necrozma. Like I said, it gets Rock Polish, that's all automized. It gets Trick Room. There's so many things this thing can do, and it can just be defensive as well. So like, there's not much this thing can do. Plus, Prism Armor makes it switch into moves a lot better. Now, next up, I wanted to grab a form of. I didn't care so much about the hazard removal. I wanted another rocker, and I really wanted a mon that could switch in reliably to a lot of things and hit really hard. That is going to be Madhab, and I haven't drafted Donphan since like Oras. So it's crazy how long it's been since I've drafted this thing, and I love this thing. This thing is crazy bulky. 60 speed def doesn't look great, but you slap an Assault Vest on this thing for the right matchup, and this thing is so good. And it gets some crazy coverage. Earthquake, Ice Shard, Play Rough, Gunk Shot, Seed Bomb. Plus it gets Rock Polish, it gets Roar, Rapid Spin, Stealth Rocks. It gets Heavy Slam. There's a crazy amount of other, like, it gets Elemental Fangs. Fire Fang and Thunder Fang, I think. I don't think it's Ice Fang, but it doesn't need to get Ice Shard. And then yeah, this thing will be nice for pivoting, getting in, and it can also be a decent check to normal spam, as well as like another decent ground check. Now, our next mon is not helping us with our ground weakness, but it really does give us another great pivot, as well as just a freaking nuke to have to prep for. Like, even if I don't bring this thing is just a monster to have to prep for, because it hits so dang hard. And that is Darmanitan. This thing is crazy. Like, obviously Sheer Force Light is ridiculous, but look at this uninvested attack set hitting 160. Sheer Force boosted is crazy. Now, this thing is U-turn. That was a big selling point for me on this thing. Also because it was kind of cheap, and it was in the 95 speed tier, which is kind of something I wanted. I wanted something in between Necrozma and Hydreigon, but I couldn't find anything base 90. So yeah, I wanted that to accomplish the goal of having U-turn. So Darmanitan was my choice, and I feel like it's gonna be great because it's decently versatile. Like you can run a belly drum set, you can run a bulky set with Zen mode, you can run banded, scarf, life orb. Like this thing could be a lot of things, and you never really know until you get into the battle. So yeah, not much to say about Darmanitan. It's kind of a one-trick pony on the same side of being versatile. Like as soon as you see what item it's holding, you know what set it is. Like it's not really hard to figure out. But yeah, so the last 3 mods are kind of, for me, they're kind of heat because I've never used any of them except for one. It was kind of because it was a low tier league. Anyway, the next mod I decided to grab, I wanted an electric type, and I wanted something that could, obviously I wanted one that could volt switch. Cause, there are some electric types that don't get volt switch. It kind of sucks, but this one does. This one also hits like a dang truck, and it gets coverage for its weaknesses. It's Vikable. Oh, crazy enough, Vikable does me incredibly well this match. Like, not this match, like with this team. Because while yes, it's weak to rocks. The only other thing weak to rocks on my team is Darmanitan. I've got 2 defoggers and a reliable spinner, and I can kind of not worry too much about freaking like I don't worry too much about hazards on my team because I have a lot of levitating mons, and the mons that don't levitate can are either not weak to toxic spikes or they can spin, or if they are weak to them, I have other switch-ins to deal with those hazards first. So grounded hazards aren't a problem, rocks aren't really a huge issue. And this thing is reliable recovery and roost as well, so I'm not crazy worried about losing too much of this if I want to run it. But yeah, this thing is agility, this thing gets bug buzz, flash cannon, earth power, or not earth power, energy ball, like thunderball, flash, hidden power of choice. Like this thing is at base 145 special attack. That's what sold me. That's my hardest hitting special attacker, you'll notice. Like, yeah, we've got Hydra that hits 125, and Crossman is 127. But like, this thing just hits like a truck. The end. Like, many teams don't have many switch-ins to this thing. It's kind of crazy because its coverage is so good. Now, the last 2 mons are really spicy. Like, this next mon you'll never see drafted in the format. And at this late in the draft, I grabbed all the mons that I wanted to get. I got sniped a couple times, I'll admit, but like, overall I had backups, and these are my backups, and they served this purpose just as well as the others. Now, this particular mon I wanted from the beginning of the draft. I knew there was no way anyone was going to take it, and I also knew that it's going to be just a weird enough speed tier to make this thing a threat. So, everyone say hello to my Swoobat. Yes, I know, it's crazy. Who drafts Swoobat, right? But look at these things' abilities. Ignore Klutz. Klutz is trash. But I could bring a Klutz Assault Vest set with Trick. You never know. But this thing is unaware and it gets simple. 2 really good abilities. After using it in the APA showdown, this thing can present a problem to teams if they're not ready for it. Unaware Swoobat can really check a lot of things. I won't say counter, it can check them, because it's got to be really fizz def to check certain things. But what I really want you to notice is one, it gets default, okay, which is great. I don't really care about that too much. It gets taunt, which is okay. The other things it gets, first off, simple Calm Mind Sword power is crazy. Number 2, it gets U-turn. That's important, because even if I want to bring a spec set with U-turn, I can, because it outspeeds a lot of people's rosters, or at least a good portion of them. And with this pick, it also kind of gives me a mon that I can kind of bring as a backup, so I don't have to bring Crossman every week. I can bring a different U-turner. Like, this thing can do some things, and you're gonna see me. I'm gonna use it at least once this season. I want to. The last mon I had to grab, I wanted Wish support. I wanted Cleric support. I wanted a Fairy type. I wanted a Ghost switch in because I didn't have one at all on this team. But my only switch in was Hydra, and most Ghosts get covered. So I grabbed Mega Autono. And I bet you're thinking, okay, this thing is meh, this thing is trash. No. wait till you use this thing before you tell me it's trash. This thing is a wall. And not just a, like, this thing can hit decently hard too. Like, with the right investment, this thing can OHKO the proper things that check it. Like, I won't say what, because I've already prepped up to a couple matches now, but you'll see. This thing can check a lot of. This thing can beat a lot of its checks because it's a normal type originally, so it has a lot of crazy, stupid coverage, like Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Psyshock, Shadow Ball, Hyper Voice, Dazzling Gleam. Like, this thing, so much good coverage. I think it's Grass Knot too. I think it's a knockoff for crying out loud. Like, this thing is something. Like, this. On top of that, it's Wish Protect, Healing Wish, Heal Bell. Like, this thing can be a real menace. It can really help set up for late games. People bring a Healing Wish set into something. Like, I'm looking forward to using this thing. I've never used it, but it's a really good mon. And, like, it synergizes well with things like Hydreigon and Kartana, as well as synergizing well with things like it really helps soften the blows for things like Swoobat and Necrozma. Not to mention, it can really check things that want to attack things like Toxapex and Donphan. Like, this thing just has the bulk I need to give me another all-around pivot that this team, which kind of looks kind of balanced overall, but it seems more offensive to the way in a way. So, like, this should be an interesting team to use. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys in week 1. Bye, guys.